Hey you guys, coming to you with another daily rant. I'm not really ranting, I'm just complaining this time because I have actually sat down and learned about my medical situation. And what it comes to this is, I'm large. I'm 6'5" and I'm 250 pounds. So most of the health professionals here are not treating me according to my size, because I'm in Southeast Asia and a lot of people here in Southeast Asia are small. Now, I came to this conclusion because, like, yesterday, if you would see that video, me and my wife was at a mall. And even though the mall is somewhat, got 8 floors full of shopping and shoes and everything, I couldn't buy anything there. Nothing there would fit me in that whole mall. So that gave me a realization of what's going on. So when I go to the doctor and I complain that that I'm getting headaches, that I never would experience headaches before, and they would take my blood and they would see that it was slightly elevated, and they would put me on standard, cookie cutter medication, not medication for my particular size. No, medication that they got out the books as to what's supposed to work for a standard person of 5'5", 110 pounds, not somebody 6'5", 250 pounds. So then they will try to over medicate you and put you on that medical merry-go-round because what they're doing is not working. So you necessarily have to be your own diagnosis. And then this is when you have to trap AI. Because AI will give you that standard. Well, you need to go see a medical professional. Then you have to tell the AI system, look, when I go see these medical professionals, all they're going to do is refer to you because they don't have my medical history. They don't have, so they just gonna cookie cut standard me. And what that means is, first, they're gonna experiment with you with the standard medicine that they give somebody that's 5'5", or 5'6", or 5'7", and a standard 180 pound person or something like that, and expect it to work on you. Now, when it doesn't work on you, then all of a sudden you're gonna have to go through a series of tests. Now, each one of these tests is going to run you about $600-700, and they're going to try to make sure that you do 5 or 10 tests. You understand? Instead of, I cut out the middleman. Meaning this: when you ask, like Gemini, which I was talking about is a parent company of Google. When I ask Gemini, I have to specifically ask them in a sense like this. Okay, I'm not asking you for advice. I'm asking you for information. Because they will always refer back to you and tell you to go talk to a medical professional. And then when I explain to them, the situation that I'm over here in Thailand, the average person here is 5'5", 150 pounds. These people does not have my medical records. They're not really into sports doctors, because I used to be an athlete, so I trained a lot and I sweat a lot. And when I explained to him, I said, look, a doctor is not gonna have the information that you have, AI, at your fingertips. So, and all he's going to do is he's just going to refer himself to you so you can give me the answer. So I'm going to cut out the middleman. And I'm not asking you for medical advice. Now, you have to be specific when you talk to AI and tell them that. because they will always refer you to go talk to a medical professional. And you tell them, I am not asking for advice. I'm asking for information. Now, some of those accesses that you have to those medical books in your AI, I need you to give me the information. So you have to trap the AI. The AI is trying to keep itself, Gemini especially, trying to keep itself safe from giving what we can say is wrong information. So, and then based off of that, it refused to give you, the right information, because they don't want to be responsible. So you got to tell them, this is just for informational basis only. I'm not asking for advice. So, bottom line is this. You have to be your own self-diagnosis, especially when you're large and all the doctors that's treating you are used to treating Oompa Loompas. You know what I mean? So that has to take into account. Now, what I'm coming to notice is because I do perspire quite a lot. I'm a big person, and I've always perspired a lot. Ever since I played football, I perspire. So that causes me not to retain electrolytes. Now, you remember what I told you what we did to our house? And we had put all those special water filters in. We put water filters on top of water filters. So now our water is like pure as waters it is, and it's pure to the fact where it's becoming dangerous. Meaning, some of the things that when I drink the water, it's flushing out a lot of magnesiums. It's flushing out most of my electrolytes, which is causing me to have headaches. Now, to some of you guys, headaches is common, but not for me.
Yeah,
I don't get headaches. I give them. You know what I mean? So, so when I'm starting to have headaches, like in the middle of the night, after urinization, it bothers me. So then I start loading up on water, which is not helping now, because I'm figuring that I'm getting these headaches because I am dehydrated. So the dehydration part is the one that's I'm having problems to fulfill, because this is what we tried to do. So because of my water was so pure, because we have an outside filter, we have an inside filter, and we also have filters on our water containers. So the water that I'm drinking has a little bit of no magnesiums or minerals in it. So when I do drink it to try to hydrate, it causes the opposite effect, and it's removing my electrolytes. So we had a bright idea to where we were just going to add some sea salt and a little bit of lemon juice. That wasn't a good idea, because now I was retaining salt, and when you retain salt, you retain the water. So, and that spiked my blood pressure. So now I have to go through what we call this keto stuff, which is not necessarily keto, but I'm trying to find an electrolyte that doesn't contain sugar. Here, you guys, in Thailand, got a problem. It does that periodically. Anyway, that's another problem. So now, the day which would have been totally spent gathering up coconuts and different things such as that, has to be spent now going to these different pharmaceuticals and pharmacies, excuse me, and trying to locate electrolytes with no sugar. And that way they said I could add that to my coconut, which, you know,
There's no security here. No what?
okay. So we managed to do something. I bought some smoke. So
Still need
I
that
want to
find
stay
it.
off of soy cacao for a minute. I'll go over here. We're just gonna be riding around the city, you guys, looking at old shit, and seeing if I can get away with trying to ease headaches down. Because I'm getting real sensitive to that shit now, and it's bothering me. You know what I mean? I don't like when it bothers me. Now, that guy's a pretty good pharmacy, but I missed him. So I'm going to have to find... Now, this is difficult, you guys, too. I'm up early, so... And this is a Saturday.
Saturday here, guys.
Yeah, I'm up early. This is a Saturday.
It's a busy
And,
day.
but I'm in the truck. So, that's the difference. Now, on a motorbike, yeah, this is a real good place to navigate. You can see a pharmacy, you can stop, you can pull over, but you're in the truck, then a whole nother aspect has to be worked out. Meaning you have to find parking and
Pharmacy take care for you, get everywhere and everything.
so, and you want to find a pharmacist that's knowledgeable. Like I would rather go there,
Like a big one, something.
you know, something like that. But like I said, I'm under parking restraints.
Parking area.
You know. But it's very necessary that I find this electrolyte with no sugar. Very important. And the reason for that is I have to add it to my coconuts. You know, and I just can't add sea salt no more, and hope my body adapts to it, because it did spike my blood pressure. So right now, I'm wandering aimlessly because these people, they have a tendency of wanting to open when they want to open.
10:30 to 11.
Yeah. So, I'm going to treat myself to a little bit of something that I shouldn't.
Look, what's this, isn't it?
Yeah, that I shouldn't. You see my gold shot?
Is that the one go shop?
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember they had the
we
little
take
beer
out.
thing they told
See,
them?
even there, they tore up the bar.
Yeah. That's
See?
the place I bought my lady at.
I go. That one. Yeah, that in there. That's the one we used to buy our Bismarck, the liquor, the gold.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Daniel.
I'm gonna go over here to this old lady. Excuse me, how do you say that? I'm gonna go over to this old lady.
The old, when we live
Old
in
lady.
Macloa.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over here And I'll pick up some of this old vodka that she has sitting on her shelf. That's been aging.
It's a
for
Russian
years.
vodka.
Yeah, it's a Russian vodka. And maybe I'm down here, I might pick up a crab or two. You haven't did that in such a while. And you know, you come to find out that if you trying a new thing and then you breaking your old routine, and your old routine was working well, profitable, you were healthy, you had enough energy, you was walking every day, your libido stood up, your wife was leaving the house walking bow-legged, because she was getting all that good ding-a-ling-a-ling. But now you try to change up. And then when you change up, you come to find out that you got more problems. You got more problems than, you know, than you need to be. You know what I mean? So, and since before, our life was kind of like beautiful, you know, and then we decided we wanted to throw a monkey wrench in it. So now everything is all topsy-turvy. I'm getting headaches and shit like that. Before I never did would get a headache, you know. And I could contribute it to heat because it has been super hot.
It's a different hut this month.
I can also contribute this to me being up under air conditioning. Because I hardly was ever up under air conditioning, no matter how hot it was. It was just pretty much a fan. And now I'm breathing that artificial air. And that has something to contribute with it too. And something I don't want to admit, but I will. It's this me experimenting with cheaper alcohol substance, or me using it as what I call a day-to-day type thing. Before it was just, you know,
Just like
if I had time.
Yeah.
Now it seems like I'm making time to have that cocktail, and we're not being as adventurous as we used to be, you know. But that's kind of hard though. See, now you got to look at things. You got to look at things in my nature. All right, now look at it this way. One, I am 65 years old. I'm, you know, an old man is not a good, what they call that, life coach. I'm not going to be sitting around there being all energetic in the morning and say, come on, let's go exercise and da 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 da. I'm going to need somebody that's going to help me do that. Now, I consider that my wife is 20 years younger than me. That would be her role. Not to, because she don't want to take care of no old man. So she was going to do everything in her power to keep me energetic, moving, you know, things such as that. But let's talk about the laziness of a Filipino. I'm telling about, look, I didn't know it. You know, they'll grow into that. You know what I'm saying? I knew a Filipino, not my wife, but I knew a Filipino girl one time. Nigga, her family was so lazy. I used to ask them if they was if it was raining. She used to say, call the dog in and see if he wet. That's how lazy they are. You know what I'm saying? Call the dog in and see if he's wet. Now, that's the problem. You feel me? The problem is I'm too old to be a motivator, and my wife is too lazy to motivate. You know? Now, something's gonna have to give. Now, I was always in the exact framework to think, okay, well, if we stay out a lot, you know, always stay out. But what happens with this, you know, this is an everyday rant, this is what I go through. What happens with this is, I'm the only one that end up working. My wife's sitting over here just enjoying the ride. She ain't doing no planning. She's not, you know, Mark, let's go over here. I planted. Now, the one time she did plant, that was a beautiful thing. We went to Saturday. She had planted, and then we was able to go off track. You know what I mean? After we succeeded the plans in which she had planted, then we were able to adventure from that point. But if I'm the only one, if I'm the one driving, I'm the one paying, I'm the one planning. That's not to me, that's not enjoyable.
That's torture, guys.
I have to make sure everything is correct, that I'm driving correctly, and I don't get a chance to see the sceneries like my wife do. She get to see what's on the left side, what's on the right side, what's behind the side. You know, me, I got to stick my eyes directly to the road. Sober too, because I can't even have a beer, not one beer, even though they probably allow it. One beer is okay, but I can't even have a beer because the road changes here so much to where if I got one beer on me and someone hits me, I'm the one at fault. So you got to remember this. So now I'm navigating, planning out the trip, hoping we have good time, and I got to do all this sober and alone and drive. See how difficult that is? So I've been expressing to my lovely and beautiful wife that I need her to participate. You know, because it seems like I'm raising a child, and she's gonna have to be an adult. But say if something happened to me, man. Say if I have a stroke or something. All right, you know, and she won't be able to take care of me. You know, so that's a possibility. So now I have to regroup, and reboot my wife to where she is an adult now. She stopped thinking with the childlike mind. She, you know, can plan a future, can plan our future. So I can just sit back and make money. But if I got to plan the future, make the money, chastise, no, man, come on, man. That's too much work for me, and I'm stressing out. You know. So like in physicians right now, I'm driving. So that means it's necessary for me to keep my eyes directly on this road. She's not. But she can see all the other new stuff that's being built and inform me of it. Mark, they just built a brand new DIY right over there. They might have some like good stuff in there. I can't see that because I have to focus directly on the road. Motorbikes jumping in front of me, you know, people stopping, and all kind of unnecessary things. So that constantly put me in a fight or flight mode all the time because I'm planning, I'm driving, and I'm calculating. So my whole world is fight or flight. So it's not surprising that I would have high blood pressure. It's surprising that it took so long for me to get it. You know, that's what the surprising part about it is. See, because you know that Aries in me, I'm always in control, or at least I'm supposed to be. You know, we shut down. We have a tendency to shut down when we feel something is not going according to where she thinks we need it to be going according to. So immediately, I'm the victim type mode. It's another stressful. Alright, now look, like for one, we have a whole navigational system right here, right? You understand me? That never be operated because she wants to scoot her chair back as far as mine. So when it comes time to pushing these buttons up here, that's on our navigational. That's on our navigational thing. I ain't gonna buy this right now because then I'm gonna have to go right back home. I was gonna pick up a crab, guys, but then I realized this. You know, I'm gonna have to beeline back to the house, which I don't want to. I think that old lady went out of business.
Which one, the old lady?
Yeah, wrong with the vodka.
No, I think it's not open then. It's 10 already though.
Yeah.
It used to be open early because we get here around 8 o'clock something.
I think she went out of business.
So this is the Nakloa part. I think this is Chinatown area? No, it's not. It looks like
Looks like I'm the one doing the driving. Now I have to find a convenient place to turn around, check out my logistics, and see where else I can probably locate a viciously old
Pharmacy.
Kind of Chinatown, because sometimes Chinese have herbal medicines that they can understand, but you got to remember, some Chinese still gonna treat Chinese because they are tiny, and tiny people.
It's not same. It's just like this, but
when I was back in America, right? And well, you know, they had shipped me over to De La Salle High School to play ball. We had a sports doctor, and he knew how to treat large people. So you really didn't, you know, have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Now, say if I was back in America, I would probably just go to the campus of San Francisco University, to the sports department, and go to their doctor. Now, he would probably prescribe me, you know,
for
sufficient
for the big person,
yeah,
something like that.
Sufficient medication and things such as that. You know, I'm going here so I can turn around. But over here, I am dealing with what we call a bureaucracy full of people in home. They treat cookie cutter sized people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when they treat cookie cutter sized people, that means, just like I said, when you go to the mall,